Hello and welcome. Beyond the mandate of bridging the gaps of power sector infrastructure with bigger projects aimed at providing stability on the national grid through the value chain, the National Integrated Power Project, NIPP, has additional work of meeting the needs of underserved rural areas of Nigeria with electricity using off-grid solar energy. This is in furtherance of implementing the Nigerian government's renewable energy policy of increasing the percentage contribution of solar energy in the total energy mix. You may recall in 2017, the first quarter of 2017, the NDPHC inaugurated the Beyond the Grid program for solar home systems, which took place in Wuna community of Gwagwalada Area Council of the Federal Capital Territory. In this edition of PowerLinks, we bring to you progress reports and impact on communities. I am your regular presenter, Bolanle Oluchi Babalola.
This is Lambda community of Warawa local government area in Kano State. It is typical of Nigeria's rural areas where the people are in dire need of government's intervention to improve their lot and feel a sense of belonging. Like in urban areas and bigger cities, the people here will also need electricity supply to keep longer hours after sunset to open businesses, increase hours of social interaction, security for homes usually in darkness, and phones charging, as well as listen to radio. With the shrill voice of need to promote their well-being, the new focus of the Buhari administration through the office of the Vice President approved the partnership between Azuri Technologies and Niger Delta Power Holding Company Limited to forge ahead towards providing households with electricity. Azuri Technologies is a leading commercial provider of off-grid solar home systems with the widest reach in sub-Saharan Africa.
Pleasure and privilege to declare and to commission the solar home systems in use in the village of Wuna, and this is going to be the beginning of the deployment of solar home systems and solar power to very many villages all over Nigeria. And so I commissioned these solar home systems for the benefit of the people of Wuna and for the benefit of the Nigerian people. Are representative in many ways of what we see all over Nigeria. Very hardworking, very serious-minded, very committed to their country and to their communities. but lacking in some very important tools for work, lacking in very important facilities to make life easier for themselves. And in November of 2015, I think the conversation actually started about September, the President Muhammadu Buhari, spoke to me about what we could do to very quickly accelerate electrification, especially in the rural areas. We had in mind all manner of different types of projects that we could do to bring electricity to many of our rural communities, to many of our villages. And he was particularly concerned that as we spoke about farming and also education in the rural areas, how would we be able to get maximum, irrigation facilities, maximum facilities for education, all of those kinds of things. How do we maximize these things if we can't get power to those places? Water pumps, irrigation equipment, just about anything requires power. And so we began to think about it and to talk about what we could do. And renewable energy, especially solar power, seemed to be the one way that would be cost effective and that we could deploy very quickly all over the country. And I think that once we took that decision, we were very fortunate also to have met with the UK Minister for Africa at the time. They were launching a scheme called Energy Africa. And it was through Energy Africa that we came across Azuri Technologies, because they had been doing some work in parts of East Africa. So we came together and we began to look for ways of deploying solar systems in villages in Nigeria. And I think there must be something very special about Wuna village, that it became the very first to have that deployment done. And I hope that you will always remain first in everything. Thank you. But let me say that we expect that this will be replicated all over Nigeria, We're starting with 20,000, but I'm sure that we'll ramp up very quickly. We've been talking to the private sector about involving themselves also in this project. We think that as solar power becomes cheaper, and it is becoming cheaper really practically day by day, we'll be able to afford to do even more, to deploy more across the country, especially to those places that are not at the moment served by our grid. The grid is just one, the grid is one, if you like, transmission center. But we cannot take all our power from the grid. And so in the next few years, it will not be absolutely important for you to be connected to the grid, because we will be deploying every type of off-grid solution that we can deploy. And we want to do that in the industrial areas. Of course, we have noted that this particular area is an industrial area. It's supposed to be the industrial heartland of Abuja. And we think we can deploy off-grid capacity here, so that this place can also benefit from what it was originally designed to be, that is an industrial city. So it's also a job creation opportunity. And of course, it's also an opportunity to improve, especially the technology awareness and skills of young people in this community. So I'm really excited that we now have an opportunity to do something that we ourselves can put together. The technology is not too sophisticated for us, and that's why we're going to be putting a lot of pressure on Azuri Technologies to begin local assembly of all of this solar equipment right here. We think that we have the capacity to do it. We think that we can do whatever it takes to be able to manufacture solar technology here, even here in Wuna, within the shortest possible time. Many parts of Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, the radiation here is excellent for solar power. And so we're going to do our best to ensure that we're able to use solar power to the maximum wherever we can deploy and wherever we can find especially the required radiation. So I'd like to thank the Azuri Technologies and especially the NDPHC for the very hard work they have put into this. This has involved a lot of hard work. And of course, my team in the Vice President's office, the power team in the Vice President's office led by Mrs. Damilola Ogumbi, and several of the others who have worked so very hard on this. I think that this is only the beginning of very, very great achievement. And I want to, again, congratulate the people of Una, especially Chief Isa and the council here. This is really excellent.
By the Solar Home System Initiative, NDPSC will be actively involved in the process of bringing power to these rural communities, thereby stimulating social and economic activities in the communities that are located off-grid. Under the first phase of the program, Your Excellency, NDPSC will deploy about 20,000 units of solar home systems to these underserved rural communities. NDPSC has already deployed 200 units of the solar home systems as pilot program here in Wuna village. The beneficiaries of the 20,000 units are among the already identified communities of the 19 northern states of the Federation. The units will be deployed within a period of 12 months. NDPSC adopted a community-based approach that will allow the rural low-income dwellers an opportunity to participate in this project. This approach allows a monthly payment for energy and also acquisition of the solar home unit after a certain period of time. In this case, in the case of Una, 3 years. The project is critical and strategic in so many ways, and a new department is now in place in NDPSC to drive this project. In addition to the solar home unit, our solar project is also directed at auditing and reactivating about 1,073 solar-powered boreholes. The new management is fully committed to the mandate of the company to provide enhanced power infrastructure for Nigeria, the mandate given to us by the government of President Buhari.
Engineer Valerie Agberagba, who heads the new department of NDPHC of implementing the initiative, gives an insight on deploying the system.
Well, solar home systems are systems that are deployed right now, deployed to the home that could easily be, you could say, plug and play. You really don't have to go through the big one of getting your inverters and everything together. So these are systems that have been deployed to be used at homes. They come in different capacities depending on what you're looking out for. And so it's one of the areas government is looking at to really deploy to those off-grid areas within the country that we know it's going to cost a lot to be able to take the national grid to such places. People have been using them. There are quite a number of them in the country right now. But talking about the government project, there is a presidential initiative for solar home systems to be deployed to rural Nigeria across the country. The project was launched in 2017 with a pilot project that was carried out in the Gwagwalada Area Council, one of the communities called Una. This was to look at the reception of the system, how people will react to it, and then the willingness to want to have it. And we saw that there was a high level of interest. And with that, the main project, the first phase of the project was launched. And the first phase is to deploy 20,000. This is official. It doesn't mean people have not been buying individually to have in their homes. But talking about the federal government official program of deployment of solar home systems, right now we have deployed 20,000 to about 12 states of northern Nigeria.
In Landa, about 50 houses are now connected, and the agent Abdul Karim Dahiru says there is an impact with reduction on the expensive and negative use of kerosene lanterns and candles for light.
Air solar is going clearly. We are using it more. We have about 700 to above customers here. And we need more. We are enjoying it. We are happy about this solar. We are enjoying it more. And we want to get more about air solar now. It brings us charging, or phone charging and radios, and there was a light to us. It provide light to us, and let's see our mosque. It provides it give us light to read more, to get more read in the Quran.
Now we have get a change because that time they go. I buy for kerosene every day. I buy 1 bottle or 2 bottles. You hear? Now I pay the solar 1,000 naira each month because every day I use the 30 naira only.
That in each community where we go with the solar house solution unit, there is it creates employment. Basically, in each community there are about 6 to 10 people that are employed and trained to install these units, and also in the sense that they are agents whereby they generate the T code to power each unit on a monthly basis. When the people realized, the impact and how it changed their lives, they practically they couldn't get enough of it. They want more and more and more, and to the extent that people started depositing money, against any other unit that is going to be brought to their community.
Similarly, in Wudil and Gaya local government area of Kano State, the communities of Kirakasama and Wudilawa have also been connected. Testimonies to the effect by the people show it is an initiative well received with commendation to the federal government.
A gaskiya solar nan alhamdulillah yanda kowa yana farin ciki da ita kuma yana murna, kuma kowa yanzu kamar yanda aka sako waya da ake gani kamar sai wani da wani ne suke da ita, yanzu sai ta zama kowa yana da ita. Kowa yanzu aka ci an rufe network kamar ya samu matsala ne, to kamar haka yanzu solar take yanzu a nan. Duk kowa idan da aka ce babu wuta, baka da kati a solar ka, to zaka ji ba daɗi, gaba ɗaya abin ya dame ka. Don ni ba eja ba ne, amma ina da ƙorafi da mutane suke min fiye da yadda ake zato.
You know, go charge your phone for another place. 1, 2. Many people then they use this solar, then leave light, touch light, and then they charge phone, radio, many things, and they use for this solar.
The user before they buy battery to put for touch light, so now I don't need that one. If in my solar, then they charge nothing at the use. As this solar come, I know they buy battery again. Now this solar nothing at the use, but they are happy very well.
Kwana ma take cir ba a kashe ba, sai dai da safe mutum ya kashe. Sannan baya da haka za mu yi cajin waya da rediyo, duk muna amfani da ita, muna ganin fa'idar ta yadda ya kamata, muna jin daɗi. Da kasan nefa haka muke samun amfanin ta insha Allah.
My children after coming the primary school, then in the night they are reading the book to do the assignment in the primary school.
Yes, they might want it, but they might not be able to sustain it. The project is not meant to be government imposing it on them. It's supposed to be something that they are willing to have. When the community is involved in it and they know that, yeah, we want to have it, then they will be able to take care of it, they will be able to maintain it and value what has been given to them. So the economic life was very vital in choosing the communities. So the first thing we did was to go into communities to enlighten them about the product, and we got the communities very involved. So communities that had the buy-in were now allowed to market it within their people, and then they come back with a list of those who feel they could have it, they wanted it. So they don't see it as an invasion into their privacy. We are not forcing it on them. It's something they want. So then they come back with, yes, we've spoken to our communities and they are willing to have it. We really want it. And that was one of the systems we used to deploy this. And that has really helped us through the 12 states which they've been deployed.
Apart from the experience, I think starting from our first installation, which was around July 2017 up to date, we've not, we'll say what we've seen from the community members is appreciation and smiles. So far, no particular problem as as to whether they've not been happy with this project. We've not seen such an issue. But rather what we've seen is happiness, smiles coming out within the rural persons, and also even showing a lot of appreciation and thanking us for what we've brought to them.
Providing access to this modest initiative by the NIPP to hundreds of households is coming with many advantages of job creation, including solar installers and agents, reduction of carbon dioxide emissions and noise pollution generated by kerosene lanterns and small generators, as well as reduction in accidental fires and death.
As soon as we launched the project in Wuna, you can expect what was next. We had a lot of influx of people coming in that, look, we have this solar home system, we have the ones from this place. We really have so many investors who have come in to be part of the program. And like I said, it's the first phase, which was 20. The federal government, the second phase is going to be like 1 million solar home systems, and that is going to open the space for more investors to come in. For this one, we use a particular product, the Azuri technologies, and that was what we used. And we've been able to see the acceptability within the rural community. And so, like I said, if you're increasing from 20,000 to 1 million, is not one thing that can be done by one person or one company. What government is doing is analyzing the different systems. We do not want to open it to everybody without checking the quality, the capabilities, and how it will function in these areas. So we're looking at all of them, the quality and the durability of these systems.
The feedback of the off-grid solution is encouraging, an indication that Nigerians are willing to pay for a reliable, affordable, and easy-to-use source of energy. Findings also show that customers will have the option to upgrade to a larger system in what Azuri Technologies describes as its energy escalator pathway to enable the plug-in of more facilities. However, as with the implementation of every program, there are challenges but which are not insurmountable. The NIPP, according to Engineer Valerie, will continue to work with communities towards ensuring successful deployment and maximum benefit of the system.
We had challenges with collection, remitting, and getting it done. People were paying quite all right, but there was a lag time for remitting and releasing. So, but those little challenges at the very beginning were taken care of, and within few weeks we were able to resolve that, and so we don't have issues with payment and release of systems to work.
The ultimate goal of deploying the solar home systems is to empower millions of Nigerians with clean, sustainable, and reliable energy. And this mandate, the NIPP promises to keep. And on this edition of the program, we say thank you for watching. And remember to interact with us, as always, through our various social media platforms on your screen. And we promise to get back to you. From me, I say thank you. I am Bolanle Oluchi Babalola.